Hello, I'm your Kingdom, Spiritual, Transformational, and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor, Latricia Booker, here with Kingdom Business. Well, we are empowered. Well, we here, we get delivered, and we get free. We know who we are. We elevate our minds and our spirits and raise and expand our consciousness. So us, we walk in our true divine purpose and power, and that is the truth of who God has created us to be. Kingdom people. We are history makers. We are world changers. We are dream successors. We are wealth generators. We are manifestors. We are curse breakers. And we most definitely are transformers. More than meets the eye. Yeah, kingdom people. We are. Kingdom people, thank you all so very much for viewing my videos. Thank you for the likes, subscribe, shares, for all the financial contributions to my channel, and for all of the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry. Thank you for all of your feedback and for all of your comments. Thank you, kingdom people. Thank you. So, kingdom people, you already know what I'm here to do. And if you don't know, then now you know. I am here to drop this beat, this word, this message. Yeah. So, kingdom people, I am the chain breaker. And you, kingdom people, are chain breakers too. Are you ready to break some chains? Let's go. So listen up, kingdom people. God has ripped up their playbook. Let me say that again for you. God ripped up their playbook. He took that playbook and did this. Remember, they had this playbook. I did a video on that some time ago. Not too long ago. So, they only had so many plays in their playbook. So, it was running out of plays. But they kept trying to put the same plays over and over. Kingdom people, that's what they was doing. Trying the same plays over and over. Because they didn't have no more plays in their playbook. Because they kept going, they just wouldn't stop, kingdom people. They still kept going. Even though none of them plays don't work. And I'm just hearing God was warning these people to stop them ones. He said they just kept going. So what he had to do was rip up their playbook. He snatched the playbook out of their hand and ripped it. And then looked at them like this. You know? So yeah, kingdom people, this is the thing. God will fight for you. God will go before you, taking care of things. And God is the one who really defeats your enemies on your behalf. Yeah, you have to handle yourself a certain kind of way. And you have to operate in a spiritual realm a certain kind of a way, in your authority, in your power, and that's how you defeat the enemy. But as far as actually fighting him or overall defeating him, that's for God to do. And God then took that playbook of theirs and ripped it up, because they needed to stop. And they just kept going in circles. Like, I'm thinking of a merry-go-round with the horses that just go round and round and round. That's how they was doing. Kingdom people going around and around in circles with that playbook. But then I'm hearing a Jack in the Box too. Some of y'all from, if you a 60s kid or a 70s kid, maybe even 80s, you know what a Jack in the Box is. I don't know if they still have those these days. I haven't seen one in a long time. But you used to turn a little thing. I think that was the music to it. But that's what I'm hearing. And then a Jack in the Box will pop up. Point is just going around and around in circles. That's all that Jack in the Box did. You just turn the thing and it pop up. Turn the thing and pop up. Turn the thing and pop up. Going in circles, doing the same thing over and over. No more plays in the playbook. Therefore, God took that playbook, snatched it, and he ripped it up and threw it out. So, what's happening now, kingdom people, is your enemies are being dealt with. Them ones are being dealt with. God went on ahead and ripped up their playbook after he already had told them to stop, and they wouldn't. They're being dealt with. And the thing is, kingdom people, you didn't have to do anything. You didn't, and you don't. You never, ever battle with your enemies. I'm hearing this battle is not yours. It is the Lord's. Listen. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. So, kingdom people, even though they kept trying all these plays in their playbook, which is what led God to taking the playbook and ripping it up, all you had to do was be still, because God was fighting for you all along, all the time. And going forward, just know that God is always fighting for you. You just need to be still. It says the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And I'm hearing be still and know that I am God. When you can be still and know that God is God, you know He fighting for you. You know He going in front of you, making your crooked places straight. You know He's fighting on your enemies on your behalf. And you know He really ain't got to fight them because He's God. But you get the point. He'll take care of them for you. All you have to do is be still. Kingdom people, you were still. They were going around and around in that playbook. God ripped it up. He went before you. He fought for you. He defeated your enemies. All you had to do was be still. Deuteronomy 3:22. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God Himself will fight for you. What had happened, kingdom people? You wasn't scared. You wasn't afraid. You weren't fearful, because you knew God was fighting for you. You knew that God was going to take care of your enemies. Listen, kingdom people, many of you have seen this so many times. I know I have. I done seen the same similar thing over and over and over, where people coming at me on all kind of crazy, trying to, you know what they do. But it always ends the same. God, they end up getting defeated. God deals with them. God deals with them. He sit them down. Sometimes He lay them out. Sometimes it ends in, I hate to say it, but death. Not always, because many a times God is going to allow your enemies to suffer. He ain't going to kill them off or let them die just that fast. Some of them want to, though. Some of them are so miserable and so, I'm hearing, grieving and in pain and depressed and suicidal even. Sorry to hear that, you know, but that's kind of the result of when you continue to try to work them plays in that playbook to the point that God got to rip up that playbook. That's kind of the consequences of that. And so some of your enemies are suffering. God done ripped up that playbook and laid them out flat. And they're suffering. The same suffering they were trying to make you do. The same suffering they were putting you through. And I'm just going to speak on this a little bit, because it's, God gave me this morning. I was listening to a woman of God this morning, and she said that you're walking, I forget exactly what she said, but you're walking into your new, you're walking into your promise, you're walking into in your neck, so to speak, because of how you suffered. And I thought that was interesting. And that was earlier this morning. It's been on my spirit. It's been several hours now. I keep hearing that. And so I'm just thinking of it now, because I was speaking of your enemy suffering. But and part of why they're suffering is because they were trying to make you suffer. Now, you probably somewhat suffered just having to deal with nonsense. And because you did, God is rewarding you. The very thing that they were trying to keep you from. It's like they were trying to keep you from, and I keep hearing this too, trying to keep you from what's yours. Your promise. They were trying to keep you from your purpose. What God purposed in you. They were trying to keep you from walking in what God is walking in you into. And the thing about that is that that's fighting with God. You're fighting against God's purpose. You're fighting against God. If God imputed something in you and charged you to go forth in whatever He purposed in you, and these crazy nuts is trying to go against you, they're literally going against God. But what I've learned about that, they be so focused on just not wanting you to move forward, because in their eyes, and it's just how the devil use people who are weak vessels, because I've learned that people who allow the devil to use them like that, they're weak vessels. That's why they're able to be used like that. Anyhow, I lost my train of thought. But I know I was saying something like, well, let me just go here. I don't know what I was saying. They were trying to make you suffer. Now they're suffering. God has defeated them. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was saying how you're being blessed. They tried to make you suffer, and many of you you've been experiencing this for years. Different folks, you know what I'm saying? Same, similar kind of thing in a different person, in a different body. You know, they just jump bodies. But you've been dealing with this kind of stuff for years. Many of you since you were a child. You know, not all the same, but what I've learned is as you continue to mature and grow in God, what's happening is you're getting closer and you're getting closer to what it is God is moving you to do, what it is that God has created you to be. You're growing, you're rising up in that. And that's when the attacks and the warfare get a little crazier, because the whole idea is to keep you from getting to what it is that you are and keep you from going to where God wants you to go. And that's what I was saying. Your enemies, they're looking at it in a way of, because they think carnal. They think of wanting to be on top, wanting to be the best, wanting to, you know, be the leader. And in this case, they can't lead you. They can't be your leader because, well, I don't want to go too much into that. That's a whole nother message. But the point is, they're not even sometimes when they know that God is using you, they will even try to stop God using you. They trying to keep you from what God is doing in you. And that's why God had to rip up their playbook, kingdom people, and lay them out. Because you don't come against what God is doing in somebody. That's literally coming against God. And I'm hearing before they were haters of you, they were haters of God. Hating you is the same thing as hating God. And God will deal with them, kingdom people. And he has. God has ripped up their playbook. And I'm just adding and laid them out. Deuteronomy 20:4 says, "For the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to give you victory." So God is the one that's with you. He was going before you. And he's fighting your enemies. He's fighting against your enemies to give you the victory. So yeah, they do all of what they do. It is what it is. All throughout scripture, the scriptures talk about our enemies and how they'll come against us and how God will knock them out for us. So yeah, it's just part of how it is, part of how it goes. The thing is, they've been warned. I wasn't even trying to say that. And they kept going. And that's why God had to rip their playbook and lay them out. God fought against your enemies on your behalf to give you the victory, kingdom people. And going back to what I was saying about how the woman of God that I heard this morning say, because you have suffered, you endured a lot putting up with these folks or not putting up with them. It's just the very fact that they were coming against you and you persevered. You continue to walk with God. You didn't let that sway you. Is why God has to bless you. And I'm reminded of Job, how he had to get double. God won't just give it back, everything that the enemy so-called thought he was taking from you. He's doubling it. I go so far as say tripling and quadrupling it and just keeping on going. I'm hearing infinity. So we can't put a cap on how God will, I want to say, reimburse us, compensate us. He will do exceedingly and abundantly above that, I'm hearing. We can't put a cap on it. I'm hearing overflow. Your cup running over. But God had to rip up their playbook because they wouldn't stop. He ripped that playbook up. And he has fought your enemies, defeated them, laid them out on your behalf, and now he's giving you the victory, kingdom people. You always had the victory, but this is a victory on a whole nother level because you've endured a lot. You've suffered a lot at their hands. And now God is rewarding you. Once he ripped that playbook up, he like, now it's time for your reward, kingdom people. So prepare yourselves. Colossians 2:5 says, when he had disarmed the rulers and authorities, he made a public display of them, having triumphed over them through him. So it says when he has disarmed the rulers and authorities, they were disarmed. He ripped up their playbook. They became disarmed. They don't have no more plays. He ripped up their playbook. This says rulers and authorities. They may not necessarily be rulers and authorities per se. They could be like people within the land that have positions of authority. But these ones were trying to be rulers and authorities over you, kingdom people. That's what they were trying to do and be. And the thing is, they can't have rule and authority over you because they don't even get how high you spiritually rank, how high you rank spiritually, I'm trying to say. You rank high spiritually. In the spiritual realm, your ranking is high. If anything, you're their leader, but the truth is you ain't leading. You don't lead the devil. You understand what I'm saying? You have authority over the devil. But the thing is, they were trying to lead and rule over you and have authority over you, which is part of why God ripped up their playbook. Because you can't rule and have authority over someone who God has given the authority to. If anybody is the ruler, it's you, kingdom people. If anyone has the authority, it's you. He's given us that authority. The thing is, we're not abusive rulers. We don't use our authority to be abusive like they do. And that's how you can determine the difference. That's of the devil, what they're trying to do. And then they're trying to rule over and have authority over God's chosen, God's elect, God's anointed. Someone who God is moving in this earth realm to do what God has called and purposed you to do, kingdom people. And they have the nerves to try to rule and have authority over you. Big no-no. God had to rip up that playbook. God has ripped up their playbook, kingdom people. God said no more. Since you won't stop on your own, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop you. He ripped up their playbook. God has ripped up their playbook and laid them out. So, kingdom people, this says he made a public display of them, having triumphed over them through him. Listen, let me tell you what God told me about that. Some of these people have said some things about you and they were trying to make you look a certain way. I'm going to say publicly, but among wherever you all are. That's public for wherever you know these people. Whoever you all know in a common area, whatever that is. It could be at work. It could be in your neighborhood. It can be in your family. It can be, you see what I'm saying? What has happened is they're being, let me read it again. He made a public display of them, having triumphed over them through him. So they were doing all that to you, towards you, should I say. And they're now being made a public display because they were, whatever they were trying to do with you, towards you, is happening to them. Let me put it like that. If somebody, and I don't really want to go into this, but I have to say it a little bit because I'm hearing this. Some people was, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Some people have lied on you. Bad. Lies, lies, lies. And sometimes, in many of these cases, the people they were saying this to know that that person was lying. What God was showing me the other day, sometimes they can't even keep up with their lies. See, when you lie so much, you can't keep up. You got to write it down. You got to write your lies down so you can go back to your notes of lies. That's a lot of work. But they don't do that. And even if they did, how crazy would they look going to their notes of lies, looking for, what lie did I tell? What lie did I tell? What has happened, kingdom people, it's been made obvious to people they were lying to that they have been lying. Let me tell you this, kingdom people. It's been obvious to people who they were lying about you on, or just talking about you bad too, that they're just jealous of you and they're just hating on you. It's very obvious. Even if they were talking people that are jealous of you and hating on you too. They recognize that the person or your enemies that were doing the extra, the ones who got their playbooks ripped up, they have been put to shame publicly. They are being put to shame publicly. People are knowing who and what they are. In fact, some of these people said that you are what they are and trying to make it seem like they are what you are. And people are aware of that. People, they have made a public display of themselves. God has, what does it say? He made a public display of them. So God made a public display of them. Since they were trying to make a public display of you, lying, God told the truth. See, the truth, know the truth and you will be free. They lied on you, but the truth exposed them. You didn't have to lie. All you had to do was be still and let God fight on your behalf. The lies fail, but the truth is being held up. And the truth of who they are and what was really going on is being revealed, is being shown. And I'm hearing openly and publicly. Anyhow, kingdom people, God ripped their playbook up. God ripped up their playbook. Game over. Kingdom people, I'm going to let that rest right there. If you like this video and or if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, click on that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Kingdom people, some of you have been viewing the videos, but you are not subscribed. Please go ahead and just click on that red subscribe button and subscribe. Thank you. Then click on that bell right next to that red subscribe button so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video, something like this one, kingdom people. Also, if you are interested in any of the services that I presently offer, you can find all the information right down below in the description box. And if you would like to sow a seed into me and my ministry and support the channel, you can cash at me at cash.me/$LBooker1. You can also PayPal me at paypal.me/LatriciaBooker. All that information is down below in the description box as well. So kingdom people, we are history makers, we are world changers, we are dream successors, we are wealth generators, we are manifestors, we are curse breakers, and we most definitely are transformers. More than meets the eye. Yeah, kingdom people, we are. Kingdom people, I love you all so very much. I really do appreciate you being here with me, spending this time with me. I don't want to leave you, but I have to go right now. But I'll be back to hold you down. With that being said, kingdom people, much love, light, and truth. Much love, light, and peace. I said truth. Woo! Much love, light, truth, and peace to you. And many blessings to you all. Kingdom people, that is my time. Jesus girl, she's out. Peace.